Hi guys, so in this video what we're going to look at is something called rational inequalities. Now, hopefully you've looked at all the other videos about inequalities, and there's one major thing that we really need to know, and that's the fact that if we multiply or divide by a negative number, then we have to flip the inequality. Apart from that, all of our usual equation algebra holds. All the rules are the same. Okay, so here we look at 2x plus 3 divided by x minus 1 is less than 1. And according to our normal algebra rules, what we would do is we would multiply both sides by the denominator x minus 1. Now, if we do that with an inequality, then we've got a bit of an issue. And the issue is this. This x minus 1 here, we do not know if that expression on the denominator there is going to give us a positive or negative value. So, for example, if we solve this and x turns out to be 0, well, 0 minus 1 is minus 1. And then what we're doing is we are then multiplying both sides, or we're basically multiplying by a negative number. And if we multiply by a negative number, that means that we have to change the sign of our inequality here. So we don't know whether this is going to be a positive number when we multiply up to here, or a negative number. So we're a bit stuffed. But there is a way around it, of course, it's maths. So if we multiply everything by the square of the denominator, that means we will always be multiplying by a positive number, and therefore this will never change around. And if you think about it, it's quite obvious really, because any square number is always positive. It doesn't matter what you square, it will always be positive. So what we do, and this is the biggest mistake that people make with rational inequalities, is we have to multiply by the square of the denominator. Okay, so I'm going to multiply both sides just like we normally would. So I need to multiply this by x minus 1 squared, and I also need to multiply the other side by x minus 1 squared. Now, this is going to be positive. This is positive. Therefore, we do not have to change that sign. And it will never change because we are multiplying by a positive. We don't have to worry about whether or not we have to flip that. Okay, once we've done that, we can start looking at simplifying this and then just solving it as normal. It's going to turn out to be a quadratic inequality by the end of this. But you've seen the video on solving them. So this is just one extra stage and making sure that you remember that you have to multiply by the square. So let's solve it. Well, we can see here we've got x minus 1 squared divided by x minus 1, which means that we're going to be left with x minus 1 on the top. And I really should put a bracket here, guys, when I put the multiple up there. So I really should stick a bracket there as well. Okay, so that means we're going to end up on the top there with x minus 1 by 2x plus 3. And that's less than 1 by x minus 1 squared is just x minus 1 squared. So I can multiply that now, and I'll get x squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay, let's multiply out the bracket on the left-hand side. Hopefully you can get this quickly enough. 2x squared, it's minus 2x plus 3x. So that's just plus x. And then we have minus 3 is less than x squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay, it's up to you which way you decide to go here. Let's keep all the x's positive. So I'm going to take everything to the left-hand side, and we get x plus 3x. And then we've got minus 3 minus 1, which is minus 4. And that's less than 0. Okay, that's good. So x squared, sorry, that should be x squared, plus 3x minus 4 is less than 0. All we have to do now is we solve. Okay, so like we did before, so we've got x less than 0. And what we end up now with is x looks like plus 4 minus 1. Okay, so 4x minus 1x is equal to 3x. And that means that we have answers of x is equal to minus 4. And from here, x is equal to 1. Remember, we have to graph these quadratic ones. So graph it. Here it goes. -4 is around here somewhere, +1's around there, so -4. Guys, all you're looking for is the general shape. It doesn't have to be an amazing graph. Mine generally aren't. And we go back and we look at this thing here. It says less than 0. Less than 0. Well, remember, this here, y is equal to 0. There's your 0 line. So your 0 line is here. And we want to be underneath here. So underneath is this part of the curve here. So x has to be between -4 and 1. So x has to be less than 1, but it has to be greater than, not greater than or equal, greater than -4. And we're finished.